Most professional whitewater outfitter on the river. These guys have been around since 1976. We're going to catch up with Sunburst and the crew. They make their way out to the lake. They're getting with their guys, doing some paddle instruction out here on the flatwater. Catch up with those guys in just a second. Here we got Shane and his crew talking it up with these guys floating dangerously close. Got Keith Good and his crew out there working on that forward stroke. Just behind him, it looks like Brian and his folks out there talking it up on some flat water. Shane's crew getting all fired up, listening attentively to figure out what this first big Class 4 rapid's all about. What's up, guys? Here we got Larry Guy out here guiding some rafts. He's the owner of Sunburst, out here working just like everybody else. These guys paddle around, talking it up. Keith Good and his crew out there setting still, hanging out. We got Adam Couch and his crew working on that all forward stroke. Just behind him, it looks like Robert and his crew out there working it up. Larry and his crew going for some big 360 spins, doing a great job. We're going to catch them down our first big major rapid. It's going to be Grumpy's Ledge. Class 4 ledge, pour over with a nasty hydraulic at the bottom. Welcome to Grumpy's Ledge. What you're looking at is the Womp Rock. It's a 4.5-foot vertical pour over, causing this big river-wide nasty hydraulic. We're going to catch up with Sunburst here in just a minute as they make their way down through the entrance rapid. As you can see, it's some small breaking waves and some holes up through there. This guy's going to be working their way down from the ramp. Like you see this raft here, digging in hard, trying to make this first gate. In between the two rocks, we got the big pyramid rock right in the center, splitting up the gates. This area right here being the second gate. We're going to catch up with Sunburst and the crew as they make their way down the top. Walking down. Here comes our first Sunburst raft. It's just like Larry Guy. Making it down from the top. You can see the big waterfall in the background. These guys heading on downstream to set up a little safety rope. Everybody online digging in with that all forward stroke, making their way down towards the ledge. These guys spinning around, he's got them down. They're going to try to catch an eddy. One of these slow moving areas here. Larry jumping out of the raft, pulling them back into the eddy. They're going to hang out right here in case somebody falls out. Sling them a safety rope. Larry gives them the go-ahead signal. We're going to start heading down this way. He's going to hang out with his crew. Wait and see what happens. Hopefully everybody will have a clean line. Here comes our next Sunburst raft. This looks like Adam Couch and his crew making their way down. So far looking good up top, setting up for Grumpy's Ledge. These guys working their way down this river left-hand bank towards the swoosh. It's the part with no verticalness in it. It's the safest part. These guys with a clean line right down the side. Everybody holding on tight. Good job, guys. We got Shane and his crew making their way down. Digging in hard. Just missing that big Womp Rock. Everybody holding on tight, powering downstream. Back up top, it looks like Robert and his crew going for a little 360 action right above the Womp Rock. These guys cruising on down, no problems here. Right back up top, we got Brian running the meat of the ledge. These guys aren't scared a bit, digging in hard, they're on fire. Good job, gang. Back up top, here comes our next Sunburst raft. This looks like Keith Good and his group making their way down, digging in hard. These guys dropping in over the ledge with a clean line, everybody holding on tight. We're going to catch them on downstream. Looks like Larry was up there explaining what the hydraulic is. When the water falls back over itself, forming a big nasty hole. He's going to push these guys on out. They're going to head on downstream. Larry and these guys digging in hard with that all forward stroke. Heading on downstream. Digging in hard. We're going to catch them on down and probably slice and dice our next big rapid. Welcome to Broken Nose, guys. This is our next big Class 4 rapid. It's a series of ledge pour-overs. Catching up with Sunburst up top. Here comes Larry Guy. His crew busting through that top hydraulic. Making their way through what we call the swoosh. These guys powering down towards the ledge. They're going to be setting up a little safety rope. Bouncing down these ledges. Oh, taking a big hit. Everybody holding on. Drifting back into the eddy. Here comes our next Sunburst rapid. Looks like Adam Couch and his crew taking a hit in that top hole, making their way down. These guys, the river right-hand angle with a clean line, bouncing down that first ledge. Woo! These guys plowing into the eddy down below. Back up top, we got Robert and his crew making their way down through the swoosh in that top hole. Floating on line as they dig in, trying to pick up a little momentum, get over here on this side. Guys bouncing down the ledges, everybody holding on tight, getting stalled out for just a second. Back up top, we got Shane and his crew making their way down. Oh, these guys with a clean line as they bounce down through. Robert and his crew stuck in the eddy. Back up top, we got Brian and his crew making their way down. These guys bouncing down, taking some big hits. Good job, gang. Right in behind Brian, we got Keith Good. These guys with a clean line through Broken Nose. Good job, gang. Welcome to our next rapid. This one's called Double Suck. As you can see, that raft out there surfing in this big hydraulic. It's folding the front of it in half. We're going to set it up with a 6-foot ledge, drop it off with a breaking wave. We'll catch up with Sunburst and the crew here in just a moment as they make their way down to Double Suck. Back up top, here comes Larry Guy and his crew digging in hard with that all-forward stroke. With a clean line through Double Suck. These guys going to whip it into the eddy and set up that safety rope. Back up top, we got Adam Couch and his crew going for the 360 up top. These guys spinning around, fixing to drop off the ledge sideways. Better hang on, gang. Hitting that big hydraulic, getting whipped around. Everybody hanging on. Good job. Next up, it looks like Brian and his crew. He's got that big group of 4. These guys heading down the drop into the hole. Good job. Next up, looks like Robert and his crew. These guys online just waiting for the excitement to begin. Hitting that big hole sideways, getting spat right back into it. Right in behind him, Shane and his crew. These guys getting knocked around into Robert. Back up top, Keith Good and his folks making their way down to Double Suck. These guys with a clean line. We're going to catch them on downstream, and our next rapid's going to be Flipper and Hollywood. Welcome to Flipper, guys. It's a big ledge pour-over. We hit it sideways. It can flip a raft in a heartbeat. We got a big breaking wave and a hole right here on the river right, and a big ledge on the left. We're going to catch up with Larry Guy and his crew as they make their way down to Flipper. These guys online, digging in hard, trying to get a little momentum to help them get through this hole. Dropping off the ledge, taking a big hit. Everybody holding on tight and headed downstream. Good job, gang. We got some kayaker flailing in the hole right up top. It looks like Adam Couch and his crew making their way down. Taking a big shot in that hole, everybody holding on tight. Woo, get the water out of my eyes. Next up, Robert and his crew. Oh, Hammer and Joe Little. All right, these guys digging in, heading on downstream. Next up, looks like Brian and his folks heading on down, digging in hard, setting up for this ledge, getting a little sideways. Oh, taking a big hit. Everybody hanging on. Woo! Sunburst rules! Back up top, it looks like Shane and his crew making their way down. These guys on lines are set up for Flipper, taking a big shot in that hole. Everybody holding on tight. Good job, gang. Back up top, we got our sweep boat. He's picking up all the loose ends today. It's going to be Keith Good and his crew digging in hard. Taking a shot in the hole, heading downstream. We're going to catch these guys on downstream. Table saw. Here we are at table saw. We got some guy up top whizzing in the woods. It's a good place to pull over and take a break before you hit this next big class 4 of breaking waves. We're going to catch up with Sunburst in just a moment as they make their way down through Table Saw. Here comes Larry Guy and his crew making their way down through Table Saw. This is the longest, most continuous rapid on the Ocoee River. One of my personal favorites. They hit that first big wave making their way down. These guys on line, tackling these big waves, digging in hard. Woo. Next up, looks like Adam Couch and his crew floating into Table Saw, getting ready for some action. They're starting to pick up a little momentum as all the water funnels in, causing these big waves. These guys hitting that big top hole, taking a big hit. Everybody hanging on, staying on line as they set up for these last 3 big waves. Getting a little sideways right here at the end. These guys with a clean line. We're going to have to look out for this rock right downstream. It's called Prudential. It's a nasty pin spot. Next up, we got Shane, followed closely by Rob and his crew. These guys powering downstream. They hit that first big hole, taking a monstrous hit. Everybody staying on line. These guys are fired up as they come through Table Saw, hanging on tight. Robert and his crew right in behind them. These guys hanging on as they hit that last big wave. Heading on downstream to Diamond Split, our next big class 4 rapid. Back up top, here comes Keith Good and his crew. These guys on line, setting up for that first big hole, dropping off in it, taking a big hit. Everybody holding on tight. They got that evening sun in their face. They can't even see what's coming up. Guys with a clean line through Table Saw. Back up top, here comes Brian and his crew digging in hard, picking up some momentum. Big group of 4 taking a shot in that hole up top. These guys working their way over that river left-hand side, battling these big diagonal waves. Everybody holding on tight. Good job, gang. These guys are on fire. We got Larry Guy and his crew setting up safety over in the eddy. These guys doing a fine job. Safety's one of our top priorities here at Sunburst. We got Brian and his crew heading down through Diamond Splitter, digging in hard. As you can see, they're right in front of that big Diamond Splitter rock, going in behind the trees. Larry Guy and his crew paddling out into the current. We're going to catch them on downstream at our last rapid. It's going to be Hell's Hole and Powerhouse Ledge. Welcome to Hell's Hole. It's the largest hydraulic here on the Ocoee River. We're going to catch up with Sunburst and the crew as they make their way down. It's set up by a 6-foot standing wave dropping off this big car-sized hydraulic. Just downstream, our very last rapid, it's Powerhouse Ledge. It's a series of ledge pour-overs. Another big, nasty hydraulic down there. We're going to catch up with Sunburst and the guys here in just a moment to make their way down these last 2 rapid. Here's what Hell's Hole could do to you. We're going to catch up with Sunburst. We hope this doesn't happen to them. You can see them dragging bodies in. Picking up in the Hell Hole. We got some kayaker in there surfing it up. Just upstream's our trip leader, Larry Guy and his crew, powering down. These guys on line to dig in for that big 6-foot wave, get some scream from the ladies. These guys with a clean line, everybody hanging on. We're going to head downstream. Robin Dodd, some kind of tool from Sunburst, back upstream, kept picking up action. Adam Couch and his crew getting a 360 right above the wave, dropping off into the hole. These guys with a clean line heading on downstream. Back up top, we got Robert and his folks making their way down. All forwards, he screams out, they dig in, trying to pick up a little momentum, getting side surf for a second. Back up top, this looks like Shane and his crew. Streaming it up, getting it on. That raft's looking flat. Right up top, we got Brian and his crew making their way down. These guys with a clean line, digging it through. Back up top, our sweet boat, Keith Good and his crew. These guys powering down. We're going to catch them as they run down this last rapid. It's going to be Powerhouse Ledge. Shane and his crew making their way down fast the first ledge, dropping off the second. Brian and his crew on that far river left-hand side. It's nasty over there. Keith Good floated going down. We got Robert, he's backloaded. He's heading down Powerhouse Ledge. These guys may flip it down here at the bottom. Dropping off that first one, catching a big willie. Oh, somebody's slipping out the back. Grab me, grab me. Next hydraulic, it looks like they lost too. Woo, I'd like to take this opportunity. Thank you for choosing Sunburst. Hope to see you back soon. My name's Jason. I hope everyone have a safe trip home.